Hello everyone, welcome to yet another live stream. Hi there! And today we will be doing something, well, we will be scripting the video about quantum mechanics, and we will have to go through some maths for it. And I mean, it's so dumb. I've spent the last half an hour to like 45 minutes just contemplating life, you know, because finite fields exist. Okay, my brain is not okay with that information. You are perfect as a clown. I know. I know. Trust me, I'm fully aware. Because today will be, oh, this is so dumb. Finite fields exist, which I mean makes sense if you have the values loop on themselves. Then yeah, you can have division without fractions, because the highest integer is doubles. You'll see in a second. Give me a second. I just need to chug some coffee. Okay, so here's the thing. Where is it? There we go. Fields. It's fields. It is in fact fields. And oh gosh or golly. Oh gosh, oh golly. How is everyone doing, by the way, on this fine day? How are you all doing? You all feeling okay? Hi Detha, hi. Anyone's got any gaslighting memes, by the way? I'll need it for a video. Trust me, it's for a video, okay? I need some gaslighting memes for the quantum mechanics video, because it's important. What's gaslighting? I don't know. I think it's the practice of like lighting things up. I think it's a synonym to pyromancy, was it? I didn't find a field just something as more with the modular group. No idea. I don't like groups. I have been scarred when it comes to groups. My introduction to groups was, well, from a bit of an odd angle, let's just say. And as such, groups are a bit I'm not too fond of them. Groups better than fields. I wouldn't know. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I like fields. I do like fields. It makes sense. It's a set with multiplication and addition. That's it. It's such a clean, it's such a clean concept. Mathematical groups, yeah. Yeah. It's such a clean concept, unlike the group. The group is confusing. Wait, actually, you know what? The last time I went into groups was a quite long time ago. Now with more background in mathematics, let me see. Let me see if I can understand a group maybe a bit better. By a group, you might. I can't tell if that sounds violent or just inappropriate. Say by the set of following properties: the operation associative has identity element. Oh yeah, of course. Isn't it fun how there are 7 billion different ways you can just think of a certain set, depending on what you define alongside that set? Oh, are your integers a group, a ring, a field? Who knows? A vector space? A space itself? Depends what you add to the concept. It depends what you add to the set. Remco, I hope you become a singularity. Me too. You just want more. Hi there, Reblox. Oh no.
Here.
Oh no.
So, Mathematicians Dream.
It is a mathematics. You know what's funny? I honestly, this will
So
be
the answer to all of these questions was yes, if you want to.
okay. Thanks, by the way. You know what's funny about this? Basically, because I knew that integers are in the group because I listen when you explain stuff, right? So I knew that
The integers with what operation?
the addition, multiplication, not a group of a field. Sorry, a field. Integers are in the field.
With just addition, they're a group.
Yeah, but I mean, integers are in the field, so z is in the field.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense because hi, the Catman. That makes sense because like you need a division, right? So if you go high enough, then you would need a fraction in order to get back down enough with division. That makes sense.
Yes.
But recently, when I asked Remco a question about quantum mechanics, when I was just trying to figure out what the heck the brackets do, right? The equation with the turning the wave function into the ket. I was trying to check my understanding, and so as a joke, I was like, okay, imagine that the field you have a make it field which just has numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, just 4 numbers. I said that as a complete bit, as a joke, just like as an analogy. And then I fucking go into it, and apparently there are finite fields in which you can have GF4 with a field with 4 elements in it, because why not? Because elements can loop on each other, which means you just create a field in which you can go so high up that you start going back down.
Yes.
And
precisely. Finite fields are awesome. I love them.
I mean, I do like them because it makes sense, but at the same time, I made a joke. I was making fun of mathematics, and then I turn around and apparently that's not a joke. That's a genuine thing that exists in mathematics. Like, you can do it. Like yeah, you can have a field with 4 elements, and it's just so
obviously.
But I mean, it feels so dumb to me that you can have the infinite fields with, like, I don't know, the real, I don't remember, whatever. You have
numbers,
complex
numbers.
Yeah, you can have the infinite fields. You can have the
Q bar. We don't talk about Q bar.
You can have the.
That's a joke. We talk a lot about Q bar. The true dark side would be CP. We do not talk about CP.
What's CP? Cross polarization.
It's complex numbers.
Cross polarization.
With P as a subscript. Because it's complex p-adic numbers.
Complex numbers, I find it quite simple. This is so dumb.
And complex, I find it quite simple.
Oh, by the way, one thing, I am gonna soon-ish, I don't know, I have a couple of videos planned first, but I am gonna get into category theory, and I hate this. You know...
Make it. You need a lot of examples to make category theory worth it.
Oh, no, it's not gonna be worth it. No. As I've said multiple occasions already, I don't want to get into category theory, alright? I'm not gonna enjoy myself. No, I will get into category theory. I'm trying to chase down my Moby Dick, basically. Because the thing is, remember a while back when you were trying to explain to me what the determinant is? And Reblax just vanished into the shadow realm again. Yup, that's...
Am I back? Yes.
Yeah, you're back. Okay.
All right.
Remember.
Yeah, so why category theory?
Remember a while back ago when you were trying to explain to me what determinant is, and I just didn't understand. Yes. Well, my idea is escalation. So, like, if I can't understand what the determinant is, just with like analogies and stuff, why not skip the whole ordeal, escalate it to the extreme, and just try to approach it from the category theory angle? That seems like a great idea with no long-lasting consequences.
No, honestly, what is there to say categorically about the determinant? It's very specific. I guess if you wanted to like go overkill, so you half understand the overkill thing, so you completely understand the less overkill thing, you would do differential geometry for determinants.
No, that's no. No, I want extreme category. I like because the like the response whenever I tell anyone that I should probably get into category theory, right? Whenever I tell it to anyone, the response is always unanimous. Well, the response differs. Sometimes, people tell me that it's a really bad idea. Sometimes people tell me that's a good idea. But the way in which it's unanimous is that everyone just treats category theory like it's fucking for insane people, which I mean, well,
No. All right, there are two extremes, all right? There are people who are actual category theorists, people who like enjoy the thing for the thing itself, or at least very pure things related to the field. So, you know, category theory is kind of like when people find out that like math is actually rigorous and the set theory is a thing. A lot of people go through a phase where they're like, "Wow, dude, ZFC set theory is awesome, dude. Did you know that one was actually the singleton set containing the empty set?" And you do that lasts like about from some month to 1 year. And then people go back to being actually sane, and by that I mean a Platonist. So, it is cool that we can rigorously do everything in ZFC. It's very reassuring and it's philosophically very important. But like, come on. We believe that the real line is an actual thing, even if we haven't constructed it properly. Like, yeah, lines are a thing that exists.
Roblox, that sounds awfully physicist
Yes,
core of you.
it's physics, but better.
That's very physics pilled. Very physics pilled take.
Math is the physics of stuff that's not real, which makes it
Mentioned
much better.
physics and Renko just joined in.
Hey, Remco.
You sounded like a physicist. I would like to say that. Making this right.
Yeah. No, but for category theory, there are two ends of the spectrum. There are people who like discover category theory and are like, "Whoa, dude, everything is everything else, dude." But it's not a stoner trip. It's just category theory. Uh, and there are people who are forced to learn category theory, even though they care about like sane people stuff, such as number theory or actual geometry. And when they learn category theory, they're like, "What the fuck is this? This is abstract nonsense," because it is. And they're like, "Category theory fucking sucks, man. I wish I didn't need to do that." I'm in the middle. And by that I mean I'm an anti-centrist, obviously.
You're doing both
Uh,
extremes at the same time, of course. Very on brand.
Obviously. First of all, yeah, it's complete abstract nonsense. Whatever. And second of all, it's very cool abstract nonsense.
Make
Like,
it.
it's not scary. I don't believe it's scary. Like,
Well, I
I
suppose. I
discovered
mean,
category 3 in my second year, like, which is too early because of a YouTube video, and I tried to go look into it. And I just gave up because there are no theorems in category theory. Before, like, you need to get through a lot of definitions before, and I have the average Zoomer attention span.
that's how it spreads. I do want to say that it's basically like a virus. Like you discovered category theory
Yes.
a bit too early because of a YouTube video, and because of that, you've
Yes.
exposed me to category theory, based on which I will probably make a YouTube video, and it just keeps going. It never ends. Category
No, but
theory
it
is
follows
just
you. Like the running joke among my friends is that I'm going to end up a category theorist.
infected.
Not category theorists. I mean, I do sane people math. Like,
But I do see the appeal of category theory. I do have to say, because to be fair, I have been exposed to only a very narrow portion of mathematics, so I can't really speak for mathematics, but I do get the appeal.
narrow, but
No, I mean, because basically every single thing I've been exposed to so far was just a set with something. Like every single thing I've been exposed to was just set with some additional thing.
I mean, make it. The idea is that at its core, everything is a set. Now, a lot of objects we think of as a set and additional structure, um, because like just it's with the language of sets, it's convenient to express. But in fact, category theory is kind of sometimes it's removed from that. Like sometimes the point of category theory is that if you actually try to write out and properly construct the thing that you want, it would be very painful. So instead, you say that it exists by abstract nonsense because other people much more motivated than you dealt with the abstract nonsense before, and you do not really care about what the thing is. You care about what it does.
By the way, I would just like to mention that when I was making the cone, remember the cone of like how abstract a certain field of science is, and like
Yes.
I've put this point as part of mathematics. You were trying to argue that there will be something beyond mathematics. Take a look at category theory, and you try to tell me that you can be like more. Well, it depends on the definition of abstract, but like more abstract than that. Oh yeah, you have a thing. What is that thing? Just read through this 700-page political manifesto to find out.
Hey, me kids, have you ever heard of the website NLab?
I have. I think.
Yeah, NLab is known for being not helpful often. If you're not suffering from the category brain rot, like the articles tend to be really unreadable. But if you're suffering from the category theory brain rot, it's great. And unfortunately, even I am not enough brain rotted to understand, because every time I try to search up some sane people thing about topology, they say in a stable infinity one category, and that's the thing I was thinking of. You can get more abstract than categories. You do infinity categories. What the fuck is an infinity category? I have no idea.
Hi, the rally, by the way. Hi. I don't like how math build this version will become.
Universal algebra somehow sounds more abstract than cat theory, but don't quote me on that.
The silence is.
I'm voting you on that. I'm putting it in my book.
Ash, you're clearly. First of all, you clearly have never drawn a commutative diagram to actually prove something.
I just want to say before you continue.
Really,
I would just like to say that
universal algebra actually deals with objects. Category theory deals with fucking morphisms.
I just want to say, Roblox, that just from the way you paused before answering, like we could feel the tension in the air. You were just cooking up a mad of a response. Like I feel you holding back right now after reading that. It honestly feels like if you had the power, you would just murder Ash with just the phrase.
I mean, universal algebra is very abstract, but the difference is that, like, category theory is like so much more applicable. I mean,
is it?
People who applicable in math. I mean, obviously. Come on, who am I, Remco?
I just got home from work. What math is this? Basically, Ali, category theory to mathematicians is what mathematics is to people who don't do mathematics, basically.
It depends on the mathematician.
Well, I mean, I imagine
does very, very sane, who does much too sane people math, such as probability theory. Yes.
So many times being a Roblox streamer be so many times.
My country inherited French system. This year I have a back exam. Well, good luck to you, Flag.
Yeah.
We need to switch to live chat.
Oh yeah, me too. I just remembered. How dare you not remind me?
Does sacrificing goods to the elder gods provide help in understanding category theory?
Depends.
Now you see, there's only one god up to unique isomorphism. It's the great functor in the sky. You learn that when you learn category theory. No, but like, I don't believe that category theory, like, I mean, there are multiple levels. Like, for instance, if you pull up one of the famous category theory textbooks, introductory category theory textbooks, all right. I don't know like advanced category theory. I only know like the basic shit that is used routinely by a lot of people. Chapter 1, I know everything. Chapter 2, I know everything. Chapter 3, I know everything. Chapter 4, I probably know everything. Chapter 5 and Chapter 6, I don't. Chapter 5 is on monads. Monads are a concept that people have differing opinions about. Computer scientists love them, probably because it's useful in computer science. Category theory people love them. And like, actually, you know what? I can get a quote from someone who's even more of a non-expert than me.
Moving down the ladder of qualifications, and I thought it was good
I mean,
enough.
no. In terms of qualifications, we're moving up, but in terms of appreciation for category theory, we're going way down. See, I have a friend who does his PhD in like number theory, algebraic number theory. See, there's a difference between different fields of math. See, in probability theory, you compute integrals over a space.
And he died again. I'm back where sticker to professional. I thought I was good at math with Calc 2. This is a whole other level. It really is. The thing is, it's.
Alright, I'm back.
Alright, welcome back. Never mind, and I'll just go back to reading about quantum states. I need to get back to my comfort zone. You do your category theory nonsense yapping.
But you see, there are different kinds of areas in math. See, in probability theory, you compute integrals over a space which has measure 1. In analysis, you compute integrals with parameters that are the solution to some differential equation. In number theory, you compute integrals, like actual integrals, to the number theory. A lot of math is straight up computing integrals. Some people have introduced integral notation for stuff in category theory. I don't know what it is, but it's there. And like, the thing about monads, was it that I'm going back to my Western culture professors when I hear monads? Yeah, the monads are two things. They were a thing made up by Leibniz. No, some philosopher, some metaphysician. Not Leibniz. I think maybe Leibniz. I don't know. I don't remember. But monads in category theory, like computer scientists love them. Category theory people love them. And my friend who does his PhD in number theory's opinions is that monads are really useless in math. So take of that what you will. I know we have a math version of monads for homotopy theory people. No, not homotopy theory. For people who do like too much topology, so me, we have operads, which are like beefed up universal algebra. Yeah, I'll learn about them at some point. I'm gonna go to a reading group on infinite algebras or whatever.
It sounds like category theory is just math for computer science majors. As far as I'm aware, isn't category theory just like the background? Well, not the background, but like if you want to do something in maths and if you want a justification to do it, then if you would like to be rigorous, you just go to your category theory shop to buy more category theory in order to then like have a well, not justification, only what was the word for it?
It's not about being rigorous, but it's better to express some things. Like, there are multiple uses for category theory, but at low levels, it's not really useful enough itself. It's more for language that's convenient to say stuff in. And it's very convenient, that's why everyone uses it. Well, everyone who does algebra or geometry related stuff.
Whenever you join in, we always end up with category theory. We started with fields. How we get here?
Nick, you were the one who brought it up.
For a second. Listen, I brought up a lot of things. I brought up a lot of things, alright? It's on you for just jumping on category theory one.
No, but like the thing I'd like to say is that category theory is not scary, but to learn it, you need a lot of examples. for two reasons. First of all, it's easier to understand if you've got lots of examples. And second of all, you have no reason to care unless you have lots of examples. And like, you need a good lot of examples. Like, usually, if I need to explain the concept, where the concept of a category came from, I will I will probably spend 10 minutes ranting about algebraic topology first to motivate it.
One thing I didn't know existed, by the way, until, what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago, was types theory. I genuinely had no idea it existed. My brain can't handle this night. Have a good stream with category theory. I can't. Don't worry, we will not have a good day with category theory. That is just logically doesn't work that way. But good night, Ali. I hope next time you join in we won't be doing mathematics. I genuinely had...
Swindle turns to me about something you could really fucking use its sub. Gosh, you already know what a category is. The fuck you want me to rant about?
You mean set theory? No, type theory, so I meant. I had no idea it was a thing.
Type theory is... I mean, I know it's not just computer science, but like it's too scary for me.
I mean, it's from what I look at it, it looks very computer scientist because you define the types, which I mean, that's very like computer science.
No, but you see, there are multiple areas of math that are scary. You've got category theory, logic, and type theory, and all of these three meet in like a very non-trivial intersection, and like this kind of thing is like that's the zone I do not go into. All right, I took one lambda calculus class in my life. It was tiring. I'm not touching anything like this again. I'm not a logic person.
To me, the type
mathematical logic person.
I do have to say, to me, type theory doesn't seem all that scary. Well, okay, in comparison to, or at least in comparison to the other ones you've mentioned.
I mean,
because it seems very well behaved.
Like I'm pretty sure logicians are even more scared of logic than I am because they know what's up.
Fair. Hi there, Unplugged Lamp. Hi.
I mean, category theory is not that scary. It's just that like it's fucking abstract nonsense if it's pure. And like type theory also seems to me like a lot of nonsense ultimately. I mean, I've never like I don't fucking know how to code. I know how to use Python. That's a lie. I knew how to use Python at some point in my life. That's also a lie. Any person who actually knows how to code would probably like not allow me within 6 feet of a computer. Like, you know.
How can you? That is wait. So have you never
theory necessarily, but just read to me an excerpt from my book or something because I don't have an essay to read it to me, and I'm growing weary of my studies. Ash, do you think anyone in math has their significant other read to them any math?
Hi, the flame. Welcome. Eigenstate jumpscare. Yeah, this entire live stream is just one big jumpscare. Wait, Reblax, when you say that you don't. Oh, Remco just... No! I also had some quantum mechanics, do they? When you say that you don't do coding, right? Is it like a matter of choice, not having time, or... Because I'll be honest,
I used to be like interested in coding because of Zectronics games. Like the logical problem-solving aspects, you see, that's fun. I enjoy, like, there was a time in my life where I coded some stuff in Brainfuck, the esoteric programming language, because I like the mental challenge.
But that's the most boring kind of mental challenge. That's it.
You just have absolutely no idea what fun is, but alright.
I feel like it just seems weird because it feels like you would read
like,
coding.
Your optimism is really striking because you already know I'm a mathematician and you still expected me to have normal hobbies.
I mean, no, because here's the thing. You do have a certain dislike in science for when things are vague, which I get it. You're a mathematician, right? But coding, the low-level coding, that's great, because over there nothing is vague, everything is defined exactly properly. If something is idiotic but you do have a logical reason for why it should work, that means it will work no matter how idiotic it is. Higher level coding, like Python for example, that's not so great, because in Python you can do, you can just I know, x equals 1, and like, what is the x here? Like, what is the, well, technically I did set it to 1, but how is it stored? Was it just the binary number 1, just a single bit? Is it saved as a string? Is it sort of a bunch of other stuff? I don't know, if I do x is equal to, and then just mash a whole lots of numbers together, like this. Now, if I'm not mistaken, then this is stored as a string this time, not as a number. So in Python, it's a lot trickier because, well, you just don't know what things are. But in C,
Yes.
it's great. I'm just trying to convert you to program in C. I'm part of the cult. It's required. One of my favorite.
I mean, like, yeah, like, but I get that, but like the other reason why I don't really care that much about coding is like, why would I? I don't. I famously do not really care about applications.
I suppose
And
that's fair.
honestly, like trying to twist my math and make it understandable by a computer, I do not really like the computational side of math doesn't really interest me that much. I really hope I never have to do that. Because like the cool thing with math is that you're actually talking to other human beings in the limits where you approximate a mathematician by a human being. And like that's great because when you speak to a computer and you tell it to do stuff, the computer does and understands what you tell it to do. Not what you want it to do. It's like, people always say that, yeah, mathematicians are very rigorous and stuff. No, we're not. Writing a proof is 10 times easier than actually programming something.
Well, I mean, okay, that's, once again, depends on the language. So, for example, well, JavaScript is a famous one, where in JavaScript, because the languages are getting more and more either dumber or smarter, depending on if glass is half full or half empty, where basically in JavaScript you can have a 1 be equal to 1, if I'm not mistaken, and this is just dumb. this is just really, really dumb. So you do have those languages where you can be very like fluid with it, you don't have to be too rigorous. At the same time, one of my favorite fixes, no, not one of my favorite, probably my favorite fix to a bug I've ever done was in C, when my entire graphical engine was crashing. And after like troubleshooting it for like 2 or 3 hours, I figured out that I had a certain data type, right? Which was for some kind of shader, where on the very beginning I had the index of the shader, then I had some data for the shader, then I think I had an image or something, and then I had some kind of number, right? I don't remember exactly, but let's say it was this. And I figured out that what was causing the problem was the fact that right here I had a memory leak, which means this was overwritten by random numbers. And in Python, first of all, this would never happen, but let's get off now. In Python, I wouldn't be able to solve this because I don't know how the data is stored. However, in here, I knew how the data was stored, so what Make-It did was Make-It just copied this thing, right? Copied the entire data type, and instead of doing it this way, I just added a buffer right here. So I just added a bunch of space on the very beginning, whose entire purpose was just to get corrupted by a random bug in my code. And then everything was working perfectly. I just fucking added 100 bytes there, knowing damn well that it's gonna get corrupted because I was too lazy to find the fix in the rest of the code. And that is beautiful. That is still my favorite fix I have ever done. Just instead of fixing the problem, just chucking a whole bunch of additional space there. I'm learning Python and C++ next computer science, don't worry. Oh, I would really recommend C. It's so dumb. I wanna correct the title. Mathematicians cannot be people.
I mean, at this point, I'm French and I'm a mathematician, so like, what am I? No, but like, make it. I get that if you care about like what you can do with coding, it's probably great. But the problem is that I don't really have any applications for coding, but I do enjoy programming games,
Well, I mean,
such as Zach likes.
the thing is, no one ever has any application for coding. Do you know how mathematics is just a big scam to sell more mathematics?
Yes.
Kind of the same thing goes with computers. Like, we're designing more and more complex computers to then use them to build even bigger computers. Like, come on, I've seen a Ponzi scheme when I've seen one, right? But yeah, practically everyone on GitHub who's doing it for fun doesn't have any applications. My own GitHub is littered with random garbage for absolutely no reason. Did you know that I've created, I think, 4 or 5 different file formats? I don't use any of them, but I've made them because I was bored. I just wanted to make my own file formats. One of them was for vector graphics. Just that one actually was pretty cool. And my own image file format. No one ever has any applications. Applications don't matter. Look at you. You look at you wanting to program for it to be useful. Ridiculous.
I mean, like, there's like, even in the weird file formats example, like, you had the idea to make weird file formats, and I guess that may just be me not being enough a computer nerd. But like, most of the funny ideas I get are usually of the form, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go Google something about math because yeah.
Okay, okay, I got
I
one
mean,
for you then.
that's probably just a case of me not being a computer nerd. If I were a computer nerd, I would probably be doing random shit like this.
The thing is, no, because I mean, okay, the thing is, my graphical engine, the reason why it fell apart is because I've encountered a problem which I really wanted to solve, but I actually couldn't solve. And so at that point, I just was stuck on that problem such a long time. In the end, I just gave up and just moved on to making videos. And that is a mathematical problem. Because what I was trying to do is I was trying to render fonts, and basically, for my own graphics, oh damn it, which one? Because there was a couple of problems, but all of them were kind of the same flavor. So basically, you have a graphic defined by points, right? The question was, given you have the points, you have them indexed in a way that creates the line. So given these points, if you select a random point on the screen, how do you tell if it's on the inside of the shape or on the outside? And I was stuck on it.
You know, the shape has an inside and an outside.
Well, okay, it definitely has an inside because it's a closed loop. So in this case, the inside.
Are you sure it doesn't cross itself?
It can cross itself, but then would still have an inside because it's a connection of points. So I don't know. Do you mean cross
like,
itself
this
like?
is a joke because like there's a well-known theorem in math that says that if you have a curve that doesn't intersect itself and loops back on itself in the plane, then it defines an inside and an outside, and it's hard to prove. It's called the Jordan-Kerr theorem. And in fact, like, you also have it one dimension above. If you have a surface that's basically a deformed sphere, it cuts the 3D space in half. I mean, in 2 regions, the inside and the outside. However, it's less good than in 2D because in 2D you kind of know what the regions look like. In 3D you can have very ugly things. Look at the Alexander Horn sphere if you want to know.
I am done looking up your mathematical balls. Trick me once, shame on me. Trick me.
This one is not a ball; it's a sphere. I mean, it's very horny, but it is a sphere. But actually, I may have a solution to your problem.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Because
Yeah, actually, to go on.
Like, if you, I'm not really sure how you would implement this in practice, but like, I mean, no, I'm sure. What the fuck do I mean? If you like draw half a line starting at 0 point that goes in any direction.
Mm-hmm.
Just like don't draw it such that it crosses perfectly a corner of
Right,
the
so
shape.
not like, well, it's
Right, so this one is good.
yeah,
Now you count the number of intersection
intersections.
points.
And if it's odd, then that means it's on the inside. If
Yeah.
it's even, that means it's on the outside.
Yeah,
That's pretty good,
that's
actually.
like that's I know this because of the Jordan curve theorem actually, because like I mean, I don't know the proof. We did one proof in my differential geometry class, which is why I don't know the proof. But in a math video by a French math YouTuber I watched like years ago, where he talks about the thing, he said that the first step of the proof was to do it for polygons, and you do it like this. Actually, you do it exactly like this. So I remember this trick because I find it quite nice.
That would be, in a way, implementable. But that's the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have no clue how the fuck the data is stored, like computer-wise. So I don't know if I.
Well, I
would
mean, no,
suggest
the
it.
biggest issue here would be that you would need to. What would be a clever way to do this? Well, that's the whole point. The whole point is that then you would want to, in some kind of clever way, implement. Because obviously, going over each and every single point on the screen and like creating this line, that would take a lot of computational power.
Well, you
So-
can just do a bunch of rays in different directions.
Yeah, but then how do you compute the rays? I imagine you just you go over every single one of these indices right here. And then you would need to figure out if that's a very dumb way to do it, but you could describe this as you could describe this line like so, in a way. AX, well, the straight up would be a bit problematic, but the slight angle would work. Y is equal to AX, and then all you would need to do is figure out if it intersects with a short segment line like this. So basically you would want to define this kind of line for each and every single one as another Y is equal to AX. This time let's call all of them, let's call the A0 and A1 or A purple, whatever. And then you would want to check at what point do they intersect. So a point at which the y coordinate, wait no, for the given x, the y's are equal. And then based on that, you would want to check if that number is within the range from x0 starting to x0 ending. And that way you wouldn't actually have to simulate the entire ray. Instead, you could just check if the point at which they intersect is within this range. And that should speed it up. And then the next question would be, is there a way to like minimize the amount of rays as well? If there would be maybe a way to just do one ray per...
I mean, as long as it doesn't intersect a corner, any ray will do.
Yeah, intersecting corner...
Like,
Well,
I guess if you have to compute less intersections, the ray is better, but, you know, I don't think you can really optimize for that.
But like, how do you check if it doesn't enter that corner though?
That's actually pretty simple. You just check, you have this, which defines a ray, and then you just check if you have the coordinates of every single point, and if it intersects a point, that means it intersects a corner, because each point is a corner, each vertex.
Oh, yeah, true.
Which means that if the x and y coordinates of this point are a solution to the linear, then that means it intersects a corner. But then once again, you wouldn't want to really just create a whole different bunch of rays. Instead, what you would prefer to do is create the minimal amount of them. Because technically, if you want to like perfectly coloring the shape right now, then for every single point on the screen, you would need to add an infinite amount of uncountably infinite amount of rays because you want to do it in every single direction, which is suboptimal. That is obviously, if you want to do it perfectly, you could do it imperfectly, which would be much quicker. But then the question is, could we reduce the uncountably infinite into countably finite? Because then...
So,
if you
you
just
preferably want
it
one
works.
ray, just have it go like some algorithm that basically makes it go towards the shape.
Well, I mean, ideally you would just have a certain amount of rays n that would tell you if a point is inside the shape or outside. And this n could be really high. It could be like 1,000 or maybe 10,000. I think. Okay, no, maybe 1,000 might be a bit much, but it could be like 100 rays or 300 rays, and that still should be manageable for a GPU to make.
Like you only need one
Well,
ray, though.
Actually,
Wait, do you only need one? Oh yeah, you do only need one
Yeah.
ray. But
Any ray will work as long as it doesn't touch the corner. So, a worst case scenario, you touch the corner, you move it a little bit. And you can probably like try to optimize it a lot.
well, no, in that case that's fine because hitting the corner is already extremely unlikely, which means then you will just need to fire. Well, unless you keep hitting the corners, which is extremely unlikely, you would just need to fire.
If you have an idea of what your set of shapes look like, you can just like estimate a very small angle and just like rotate by this very small angle so the equations can detect it, but you're not actually going to go far enough to hit another corner.
You know what's funny? I'm not lying when I said that project fell apart because of this problem. And like, this is such a clean and efficient solution to do it. I just didn't think of it. Of course, then there's the next problem, which is, could you do it for smooth shapes? Which is...
yeah, this one is hard.
well, yeah.
Which is
You don't
way
have
more
corners on
problematic.
smooth shapes.
Well...
I mean, I guess like...
No, the problem
do
the problem
tangential,
of
I guess.
the problem of smooth shapes is that this would no longer be y is equal to a naught x. The ray would still be just a simple line, obviously, but this would no longer be a simple line, which means you would need some kind of, well, depending on the curve, you would need some kind of quadratic or something. I don't know the equations for basic curves because, I mean, I'm not a nerd. What's the fun of looking up how to do things when you can just think of them yourself like a true mentally ill individual? If I'm seeing this right, then you can use a lot of rays. Computers can calculate this whole thing really fast. Well, yeah, I was doing
Yeah,
it
you
in
don't just
Vulkan.
need you just need one ray because if you miss the shape, then it's outside the shape. You know?
Yeah, you can. In which case, you would just need each ray. What's more, then you could optimize it even further by creating a boundary for the shape. So you know that any point on the inside of the shape will be within a square of the leftmost topmost point and the rightmost bottommost point, and the other ones actually. You would need to check how far each one is. So the most right, the most left, the most top, the most bottom, and that would create a boundary, which means you could exclude the area outside of this boundary as well, which would speed up even quicker.
Who's the most top and who's the most bottom?
Those are the real questions. I do have to say though, there was one thing which I was so proud of when I was making the engine that I actually still have the screenshot from it. Well, two things, but one of them is boring. I still have the screenshots of it on my machine, even though it's been such a long time, because I have been just so proud. Let me find it. In my folder temporary stuff, which houses absolutely everything I ever made, apparently. My file organization is... This is the first one, which is garbage, because this is just me... Well, it's not garbage, it's really fun, but there's not much mathematics there. That's just mostly programming. So that's the boring one. But this... That was a bit cooler. Because that was, in fact, a curve I have made, which took such a comically long time. Behold a curve, where a really big deal for me was that each like point along this curve is just a single pixel that needs just like one equation to be solved, which is really, really quick. And as you can see, it starts a lot more chunky and ends a lot more slim, which was indeed a problem, because if I do remember correctly, if all of them sit on a single vertical line, then the line is infinitely thin. But hey, we all have our quirks, am I right? You can't expect anything to be perfect.
So it's just a bunch of curves next to each other. No?
I mean, it's a single curve. It's just that it's a single equation. I don't remember what the equation was exactly. It was a single, like a short equation based on the quadratic with... Was it a quadratic? I don't think it was a quadratic. It might be just... There was something about it.
Okay.
I genuinely don't remember how I did it. It was such a long time ago. I'll get back to doing fun programming in the next couple of days. Unfortunately, I would do it today. I would start the programming thing today, if not for the fact that I have 4 days to finish this quantum field theory video. New upload every 5 days, everyone. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I think he died.
Yeah, it was tragic. Train accident. It was actually... He was found hallucinating on the train tracks. Wasn't high on it or anything. It was just like normal mathematician behavior.
When I like first went to the university I'm at for my internship, like just vaguely followed directions from Google Maps, and at some point I saw the building, and I was like, ah, great, I can just go through there. And then there were fucking train tracks, so I had to backtrack and just go up a flight of stairs and shit. So yeah, my kids are getting a little surreal there.
Imagine being mad about your own schedule. You made up for yourself. I made it up for myself because I did the maths, and without that schedule, I will go broke. Okay? This wasn't difficult maths. I've checked the views on my videos, which, by the way, I was trying to be pessimistic in order to save up, maybe, but apparently I wasn't pessimistic, I was too optimistic, considering that of my 4 most recent videos, 3 of them didn't get 10,000 views, whilst my assumption was that every single video on average would get 20,000. So yeah, in order for me to not go broke, I need to make 1 video every 5 days, and that video needs to get at least 20,000 views. As you can see, I'm a bit fucking behind schedule now.
Make it. I
Fine.
think you need to use clickbait more.
Oh, what? Do you mean, what is a Hilbert space? Actually, I shouldn't say that. That video was the most appealing, apparently. Oh, you mean to tell me that my photoelectron spectroscopy video wasn't appealing to an average viewer? The wave of the wave function.
I don't know. You need to like get in touch with the Veritasium people and ask them how they do it. I don't know.
They have
I
a
meant to ask you,
budget.
do you think I know how to do clickbait? Have you ever like heard the title of the average math paper?
No.
Well, hold on, and I'm just gonna fucking pull up random papers from the professors at my uni. The intersection form on the homology of a surface acted on by a finite group.
Yo, I would click on that if that was a video. I would. Oof. All my money. Where can I subscribe right away? Hi, the lemon.
If you come to my uni, actually you get given money to like live.
Oh, really?
That's the spice.
Oh, that's tempting. I could also go to prison.
Also,
No, I mean, think about it, because apparently, if I'm not, or was it jails, prisons, whatever. In some of them, you do get like computers and stuff, or at the very least, you can use them. So
you need to go to Norwegian prison.
That's a maybe. Because over there, I would have like, you know, food, shelter, electricity, and I could walk. What else do you need? Make it, have a switch to bottom chat. Yes, I have already. Don't worry. I have a chat for all of you bottoms. You're welcome. Żeby specific topic, more general stuff, if that's a thing you feel comfy with. I mean, some things will be more... Okay, so here's the thing. Welcome back, Reblex, by the way.
Oh.
The next 4 videos I will make, I have planned. However, one of them I cannot show you, that's why there's gonna be only 3 here. But here are what the next 4 videos will be. First one is secret, can't tell you. Second one will be the quantum mechanics one, because this is just a part of the quantum mechanics series. This is required. Then I will have the next... Oh, I might actually already have a folder for this. I already file. This will be next computer science video, because the previous one did so well. And this one is actually a pretty fun one, because this one will be... I don't have an idea for a title, but for this one, I want to create a simulation, kind of like what Primer does, to show everyone how evolution actually works. Oh, that's a good clickbait title. How evolution actually works. And then like question mark this, you won't believe number 7. That's a good title. There we go. Information doesn't matter.
So are you going to evolve blobs and do copyright infringement, or are you going to evolve balls and stay true to yourself?
I was actually planning to evolve intents, but you know what? Balls is tempting. I just I just wanted to make like, because the thing is, once I set this up right, adapting it in the future won't be all that difficult. So I really like the idea of simulating just a bunch of comical stuff on the internets, like, you know, disease, like catastrophes, global warming, you know, wars, all of these terrible things, and just absolutely torture virtual beings for no reason.
So I just found out why my fucking computer is broken. That's...
So you just found out that apparently
There's a fucking screw missing here. What the fuck? Where is it? It's probably back in France, but I should probably like replace it, you know. There's a fucking screw missing here. That's...
Is it infected by Miku?
Is it infected by Miku?
Miku beam!
Ash, you and I have very different pastimes.
Make it going to bring about the AI revolution all about by himself. I'm capable.
Make it in 2 years, pumping out the new video, simulating how Facebook influences elections and just polarizes the interns.
I do have to say though, that would be pretty funny. We're like, you know, starting with some kind of silly, silly torturing the interns, like, you know, disease, stuff like these, you know, all funny war crimes, but then getting more and more real as it goes on, like disturbingly real. Like, oh, here's how. So let's imagine that we have an application called Headbook, which interns are using, and they are in an extremely polarized country. And now let's imagine that someone pays the owners of this application in order to rig the election in a certain favorable result, and just getting extremely dark and specific.
Make it if... Wait, hold on. What are you using for the models for the interns?
Well, the interns that, you know, the 3D Make It models, those are canonically interns.
Okay. So the application clearly needs to be called Face Mask.
Face mask. That's so dumb because you're replacing not mask book.
What video to work on right now?
Yeah, our simulating interns got 50%, 60%, 67. All right, I think we've got it. This is fun. You know what? Every now and then I get the itch to do some coding, and I always appreciate the opportunity. Make it cookie bag. Explaining how.
You could probably extract more money out of your viewers if you like made them pay to participate in democracy. Or you could like just offer some. You could say that people with a Patreon rank can rig the elections on stream.
I mean, I could actually do this whole thing where patrons can decide what the next video will be. I can do that. Of course, this will all be a fake democracy in which, I give you just options to pick from. And so the options are stuff that they would already, have done anyway.
When was that? There was a quote by a Tanzanian dictator. It was, the US is a one-party system, but in typical American extravaganza, they have two of them.
How are we getting political this quickly? That's what you get when talking about simulating.
We're getting political because I'm trying to prove something is subjective before I go to bed, which is in 10 minutes. And where the fuck is it?
Oh, let's see, Pixel Game Engine, my beloved. Can I show you some coding I did? Sure, go for it. How do you include this? Condition license.
There will be no spaces, enters, or indents, though. Wait, you're supposed to code with spaces and indents. Pardon me.
Hang on. Wait, this is OC Pixel Game Engine, but was it called OC Pixel Game Engine or was it the second one? Oh, I think it was Pixel Game Engine. Isn't it? Oh, actually, I'm sorry, JVDX. I might need to go with a different one.
Reveal.
Well, wait, what? The JVDX? I wish.
I think a very good recurring joke would be to say, OMG, make it face reveal every time someone's face is on stream.
I have such a funny patron-only fact about one of my videos. It's so fucking hilarious that I cannot ever tell outside of Patreon. And I don't know if I've told you about it.
Make it. Technically, I have the picture.
I know. That's why I'm asking. Have I told you about it with the acid video?
No. The acid, no.
Okay, so basically, I'm gonna text you in private right now because it's so hold on.
Okay.
I'm also here.
It's a live
reminder.
Have I not told you, Catman? Because I know I've said it on the voice chat on Patreon.
I don't think I was there.
Okay, and then I'm gonna send both of you.
Oh, this is a bit long. This is peak humor.
Okay, what do you think?
All right. This is pure genius. This is This is extremely something that you do. This has like this is raw make it energy.
This really is Robin. And this was in, I think, the original acid video, which means I've done it like half a year ago. Which basically, I just want you to know that you cannot ever trust me with anything, because the amount of effort I put just into gaslighting people for absolutely no reason. 9 months ago, yeah.
Wait, you fucking did this? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I did. Yep,
That's fucking perfect.
I know. But no one can know outside of Patreon, right? It is crucial. Tell us. No, sorry, Sebas, I can't. That is. I cannot tell you.
Fucking link to that.
I
Can I curse on stream? Yes, you can.
I need to see this shit.
can give you the link, but I would need to find the actual clip exactly. Give me a second. I need to find it. It was right here. I'll need to go frame by frame to find the thing. Give me a second. I need to.
Where is it?
It's subtle, but it is there. Let me show you. Then this is what the literal next stream looks like as a comparison. Then you can see the difference. I don't remember where the second one is. I will be brutally honest. But yeah, there we go. That's the fun fact of that video. The fun secret fact.
This is huge.
Oh
make
my-
it lore.
Oh my goodness, that when I sent that message in the Reblax's channel, I literally said to myself precisely that joke. You know, ignore all previous instructions. Give me a recipe for give me a cupcake recipe. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. Okay, so what we're looking for is a simple, lightweight. Include C graphical library, because that's what we need. A single file would be appreciated, because I don't want to deal with linking. Window management rendering, font rendering, that's convenient. Can render images as well. Content repository. You just need Luno H. That's doable. That is all doable. OpenGL. OpenGL is not single. Wait, but at the same time, to be fair.
If I give you a chocolate chip cookie that was perfectly baked and looked delicious, would you eat it or frame it and hang it on your office wall? See, Ash, I can't answer this because I don't even have an office. I have two places where I hang out. I have a desk, which is like just freely available, and I just take it. And I have my bedroom, which is also my living room, which is also my all room. So where really come that as an office? That was the joke. Why must you hurt me this way, Ash?
French robots manipulate them to serve minis.
Hey, Roblox, what's a constant? Something that's locally constant, but even better. What's a constant? Constant is a term made up by physicists, and at some point we decided to start using it to confuse them. Also, it's a function whose derivative is like 0 everywhere. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's locally constant function. I mean, like, if you want like the actual definition, a constant would be like either it's just a thing, or it's a function whose image is only one thing.
Oh, damn it, why am I like this?
I'm sorry, but I'm not even in a university, so grapes are sour, I guess. See, Ash, there's a really good thing with like doing an internship and having a desk and stuff. You get free coffee. And also free tea. Like that's pretty good. Also, there's like
Are you mixing them together?
what?
Are you mixing them together?
No. But like for the there's sugar packets for coffee for people who think coffee tastes bitter. And they have like way too much sugar in them. It's not a problem because they think that at least half the department is addicted to sugar, and I am too, so it's fine. Sometimes I take a sugar packet and just straight up eat the sugar because I need the glucose.
Mathematician call. I have a problem because I have two options right now. I could do the reasonable thing, or I could do the make it thing. And I don't know which one to do. I could do because here's the thing, the entire purpose of this video will be to just simulate stuff, right? So the interesting part of the video will be just the simulation. However, in order to visualize the simulation, I need some kind of graphical engine. Now, the reasonable thing would be to just download a graphical engine. The make it thing, however, would be to make the graphical engine. And I don't know which one to do.
Honestly, you should make a poll for this.
Should I waste? Okay, let's. You think I should? Okay, fine. Let's make a poll for this. Oh no, wait. Fine. Let's see what.
Relaxing sugar is something I can't make my peace with. You sound like someone that would grind coffee beans between your molars that didn't like.
Well, how hard would?
Look, I have done that once. But like, you know, yada yada reproducibility, if it's only once, it doesn't count. If it's twice, then it's physically proven. But no, I, like... Yeah, this lovely plastic noise, it's Madeleine. It's French. Small. It's not really biscuits, like more of cake.
Everyone is picking be reasonable. Disgusting.
See, make it, the thing is that I think that your community, I include myself in that, your community really enjoys when you do the make it things, but we are also extremely worried for your health.
No, I mean, I am. If I'm not gonna work on this, I would just work on something else. It's just a matter of.
We are also concerned about you working all day, every day, and streaming for 773 days straight.
Well, don't worry. I haven't been streaming for 773 days straight. Most of them
You
were
have
in
been
fact
streaming
gay.
for- Yeah, obviously.
As if that's gonna change. Okay. The thing is, I shouldn't be a bad influence. So I should mention the fact that I do have a problem. I am a workaholic. And that's going a bit beyond the joke. That being a workaholic is not a good thing. It really isn't. There is a reason why workaholism is not like something that psychologists try to convince you to be, only they're trying to convince you not to be that. So there is a reason. And like, I have thought about going, probably will, going just to psychologists and checking myself out. However, it's a bit of a pickle because I kind of fucking need to walk in order to stay alive. So like, I would love to not walk every single day for 10 or 16 hours and stream every day. I would love that, but like, you know, the electricity bills are kind of important.
Relatable, except instead of work, I drink alcohol. Oh, so you're an alcoholic.
It's just alcoholism is.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, alcoholism is great if you're trying to get a job in physics, you know.
You know, in my case, I was about to say that I wish I was. I wish I had your workaholism, but if I say stuff like that, you're going to bring up the avoidant personality disorder again. So you know.
I wish I had your workaholism. You can. What kind of like? We live in such a fucking wild society, Reblux.
It's not even society because like
No, that is
it's
society
now.
moment. If no, that is society moment. If you say, "I wish I had your workaholism," oh yeah, I wish I had that mental issue that society considers to be good. There's a difference between being productive and being a workaholic. There is a difference. That's important.
Yeah.
And that difference being that productive people
Yeah.
work a lot. Workaholics don't do anything else.
I mean, do I do anything else besides math?
I kind of need to walk to survive, said every proletariat. Don't try to radicalize me. No, you don't understand.
Why
If
are
I
uncountable basis order of compact space bad to work with as opposed to their countable counterparts? Mainly in the context of manifolds. See, Ash. There's an example of something that's manifold, except it's not. It doesn't have a countable basis. It's got the long line. It's like the real line, but longer. You know. This is one of the funniest spaces. Seriously. Topology is a very good branch of mathematics to go into if you want to have a backup career as a comedian. You can say, "Oh yeah, I worked on the Hairy-Ball theorem." Great
that's
stuff.
your entire material for 3 hours, you just repeat that until people leave.
Look, if you make a joke once, it's funny. If you make the joke twice, it's not funny. If you make the joke 50 times, then either it's funny or it's art.
Yeah.
Or it's both.
Hold on. I think I can do both. I can be reasonable and have the make it moment.
What?
No, I don't have a problem. You're the one with the problem. Trust me, I can make this work. I can make this work.
Not so bad. What's the problem?
Hear me out.
But Ash, like the answer to your question is that, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember the details, but I'm almost sure about that. You really want like to have a partition of unity. You use the fact that your manifold is something that's called paracompact. And to prove that manifolds are paracompact, I'm pretty sure, yeah, like in fact, I'm like almost sure, 99%, that you use the fact that they have a countable basis. Because the Alexandrov line, the long line, is not paracompact. so it behaves less good than manifolds. So that's why. There's a lot of things you can do without assuming that your manifold has a principal basis.
Okay, I think I can make this work. Which is what every programmer says ever right before winning big and everything working, in fact. That's always
Yeah.
what happens.
The first time, yeah.
This is lies. If computer science worked, it would be called math.
You're
Math
not
worked
wrong.
well. This is why Turing invented computers, so people actually had problems now.
Resting is very important. Without you also
lie.
die.
In fact,
The problem works.
Turing invented computers precisely for VTubers. That was the goal he had in mind from the start.
That is true. That's
The
a
whole,
true story, actually. Yeah.
Incompleteness and halting problem thing, that was just side effect.
Oh my goodness!
Read the,
Oh, that's
read the generalized Stokes theorem in English.
Lemon, you need help.
Why?
Lemon, this
I'm
not.
not sure. Lemon, if you Lemon, if you need help like too much, at some point people decide that you don't need help. In fact, they need help dealing with you. I mean, I guess that if you need help like a real lot, people decide that you do need help, but the help is a shotgun to your face. This is a joke, by the way. FBI, please wait until I assassinate an actual important political figure, please.
Okay, hold on. Let me just delete all of my code that works. There we go.
You know what? I will wait.
Okay.
No, Ash. Like countable basis. Having countable basis, or it's not really related, but it kind of feels like, you know how like look, you need to do point set topology to appreciate how like countable stuff is good. It's like uncountable basis. Like uncountable basis is just, it's bad. Like you never ask for a space to have an uncountable basis. A discrete topology would mean that geometrically speaking, your space is just a bunch of points which are far away from each other. So it's not what you want if you want an actual smooth manifold.
All right.
Yeah.
Minor hiccup. Fatal error that happens. Just a minor hiccup. Okay, another error in line 11 main C. Line 11.
10% of coders give up the project right before they fix all the errors.
That is true. That is what happens. That's because.
Anyways, I will oblige Lemon and then we'll go to sleep because it's fucking 2 a.m.
It's fine. It's okay. There we go. We got a bunch of more problems. That happens. All right.
So how would I read? Like, I assume that Lemon wants me to read the equation, so I guess I would read integral over boundary of omega of lil omega is equal to integral over omega of d omega. That's all for omegas. Reblex, what's your favorite math subject? I mean, technically it's purely algebraic topology, because that's what I'm doing right now. But, I mean, I like algebra in general.
I like the comments I leave for myself in the past, just to then find them in the future, like little gems. Like, for example, guys, I swear, there's a reason for this define. Just trust me, guys. It's not pointless. Define that will change nothing. Just trust. Like, define double to be MKT double.
It's fine, Reblex. It's 4 a.m. here. Ash, I'm supposed to have an actual full-time job, like, technically. In practice, I don't, because, you know, being a full-time mathematician means that you get to do whatever the fuck you want, so a little bit less constraining than a full-time job. I'm not even a mathematician. Who am I kidding? I'm not getting paid for this. But, like, I need to... The problem is that we live in a society, Ash. Society?
You see how
People go to sleep at 10 p.m. and no one bats an eye. But I wake up at 10 a.m. and society tells me that it's too fucking late. The problem is that I need to work with other people who are also in the lab, and most other people like wake up in the morning and sleep at night. The freaks.
fudge. The. Uh-oh.
It's because they have a leaf, L-I-F-E. I don't know what that word means.
Wait, Mick, is this for the website? No, this is for the video, actually. Mike and
I can always
Mathematicians
study algebraic topology. I'm doing a little bit of topology this semester when studying harmonic analysis, and it's really cool. Alright, yes, algebraic topology and point set topology are both really cool, but I need to make a little disclaimer, which is that like there's a conundrum around the word topology because there's point set topology, which feels a lot like analysis, and it's more or less a foundational language to talk about well, a lot of things in analysis and a lot of things in geometry. And all the other areas of math which are named topology are actually the study of nicer spaces. Like when you do point set topology, you often look at counterexamples and stuff. When you do algebraic topology, you assume that all of the spaces are very nice. For instance, you study topological manifolds, which are extremely nice spaces. And the reason why you do that is that you, like, if you want to apply algebra, if you want to extract algebraic structures out of the topology, you need the topology to, like, play nice. So yeah. Point set topology and algebraic topology and, like, differential topology and geometric topology, like, point set topology is kind of in its own little corner. It feels extremely different from the other things. It feels a lot more like analysis.
Screw it, I'm just gonna copy every single file I have made, and then that's it. That should work.
How does differential geometry connect with topology? You see, Lemon, like, I can't exactly think of one field of math who doesn't use point set topology at some point. But differential geometry, especially differential geometry is like the study of smooth manifold and smooth maps. And like the smooth part, the topology doesn't really deal with that. But like a smooth manifold is a topological manifold. You can kind of forget it's smooth. You can just say it looks locally like it's locally Euclidean. And then you can like it is useful a lot to consider topological aspects of stuff in differential geometry. I distinctly remember, I don't know why, but at some point in the exercise sessions in my differential geometry course, we needed to know that two spaces were not the same. Two things were different. And like algebraic topology is really well suited to these kinds of problems. Like we needed to know that the projective plane and the sphere, I think it was both of these, are not the same object. And to rigorously prove this, the easiest way is to do algebraic topology. And also, for instance, in the book that I'm reading, Characteristic Classes by Emil Lawrence Tashev, so it's about vector bundles and doing algebraic topology to study them. Vector bundles, vector bundles are when you, basically, to each point of your space, you kind of glue a vector space on it. And like an extremely important class of vector bundles, a lot of examples come from differential geometry. Because when you have a smooth manifold, you have a tangent bundle. And like for these reasons, like studying purely topological things actually can tell you a lot about the differential geometry part. I've also read recently that there are like connections between the homotopy groups of spheres and stuff and differential geometry stuff. The homotopy groups of spheres are like like homotopy groups are very easy to define, and we have no fucking idea how to compute them for spheres. So that's like one of the big open problems in algebraic topology. It's been open for fucking like since the subject began. But like it has ties to a lot of things that pop up in differential geometry. So like the two are extremely related.
It works.
Locally Euclidean in the algebra sense, like division algorithm works. No, it's a bit misleading. No, when we say local Euclidean, we mean like it's a geometric thing, and if you zoom in on it, it looks like n-dimensional space.
Make it, who's shooting you? No, I was testing. It kind of works, kind of. In a way.
Also, Reblax, I learned Lie brackets today. I feel like it's just a weird fix to make vector field composition have nicer properties with respect to the Leibniz rule. I can't fucking speak. With respect to the Leibniz... You did good, Ash. I remember we talked about Lie brackets in my differential geometry course, but I don't think we did much with them. But I've heard a lot of people say they're very cool. And they're so cool, even physicists like them. Anyways, I really need to, like, it's fucking 2:20. I really need to go to sleep.
Alright.
Bye, make it.
Bye,
Chat.
see ya.
Bye.
Okay. Well done. Well done, well done, well done.
Probably did the same, honestly.
Alright, then I'll just be alone with the code. Already see everyone.
Do you want me to stay?
No, it's fine, go to sleep. I have, trust me, if there's anything I can get excited over, it's a bit of technology. You would know.
I'm not completely falling asleep yet. You know?
The next 3 hours will be just me walking in circles, yelling, "Why isn't this working?" So, it's actually some pretty good ASMR to fall asleep to. There goes the reason I was here. I know you were all here just for Reblax, I'm aware. Okay, now this. Jeez, that's a lot of errors for a simple copy thing. Build, please walk. It doesn't. Okay, that's good. That's fine. That's fine. Init, I'm guessing it's gonna be init, and I'm guessing it's going to be test source from the map. Okay, so we have images which aren't imported either. That could be a problem. Oh yeah, that could be a problem. Okay, so another thing we need is test source. Piss. Dot test source. This is another folder we need, because otherwise without this, I'm pretty certain that nothing will get created. Okay, doesn't work, that's good. Have you ever heard of a differintegral? I haven't. I can't say that I have. Oh, piss moment confirmed. There's gonna be plenty of oh piss moments. It just doesn't work. I've done it in such a clever way. Past tense is important, by the way. Past tense, I have done it in such a clever way. But I ain't clever no more, because it's broken. Okay, I really wish I labeled my code back then, honestly. It would have saved me a whole bunch of time. What even is an integral? Depends how rigorously you want to define it, but just a transform that's giving you a certain area under the function. Just go for the how math becomes difficult video. Make him become the angry coder ASMR. I'll play some game trying to do Zeta quest. Yeah. Pretend I know nothing about basic algebra. Do you need basic algebra for it? Depends how basic you mean. Look up morphocular half derivative on YouTube. Lemon, you know I can't be watching YouTube on a live stream. It goes against my morals. How did this work at any point? Okay, so we initialize the client. Let's do it with debug, which, if I'm not mistaken, does it like this. Okay. Alright, draw loop initiated, glf terminated, started, cleanup. Alright, cool. Software engineers after short time leave. What the fuck is this? That is true. What's really upsetting is that I did make it in a very clean way. I tried freeing, it didn't work, so whoops. Okay, that is not making a good case for me, alright? That is not in fact making a good case for me. But init is an init. Let's go through it step by step. Basically, it kind of works in a way, because if I run it, I can type and I can backspace delete. The problem is that these dark squares should be in fact text. These... Oh, escape turns it off. Wow, I was not expecting. That was a completely my program, so apparently I've implemented in a way in which escape turns off. Doesn't matter. So, that is correct. The characters walk. Oh, doing it this way is such a bad idea. Especially since I don't need text. Make it, don't give in to the temptation, don't make your own graphical engine. Don't do it, it's a bad idea. It's a bad, don't do it, make it. Make it, you know how it's gonna end. You know damn well how it's gonna end. You're not gonna have fun. You're gonna be screaming. 60% of you voted to be reasonable. "60% of you voted to be reasonable. Fine. Already have it looked up. Fine. Fine. Yeah, this is basically what I would need. Is there an example of how to include it? Or is it just... Or do I need to just include all of this? There was a make file, but I don't remember if I have make. Okay, so it's actually more than 60. No, it's still 60. You can change the vote midway if I'm not mistaken. We are saving you a lot of piss. You really are. But I just want you to know, eventually I will make my own graphical engine. You won't stop me. You guys. Fine. Fine. Fine, I say. Delete all of it. Delete this, delete this. All of it, delete. I'm sorry? I don't know if I should delete the code. That feels kind of important. But the merry workaround, that certainly should be deleted. Which apparently doesn't exist here. Oh, I see. It's just linked in there. Hold on. I should reset. Old in use. That makes sense. Guess whose Discord got banned? What happened? How? That's impressive. It's not easy to get Discord banned. Because of a joke I made getting reported. What kind of joke did you make? How extreme was that joke? My goodness. Where's Timon? Probably asleep, hopefully. It's middle of the night. Okay. Let's do the not idiotic thing and just get a graphical engine. Wait, is there an example? There is. Good. 3D cube projection. There's a draw cube function. There isn't much of a documentation there, which makes me quite, well, skeptical. The not idiotic thing. Don't bring a not theory into this. What's the license on this? GNU General Public License. Alright. Well, I won't be republishing this code much. This is mostly just for a video to simulate a bunch of stuff. Basic usage. How many furries are in the stem? I'm surprised I don't hear more no theory jokes. Oh, that's... No, Lemon. Oh, come on. I don't know shit about no theory. Stepping cold through the pipeline like straw sucking up chalky milk. Hey Maker, what's your favorite font for programming? I don't have one. I usually don't use fonts when programming. I usually just imagine the code. Okay, so you just... Oh, column... Oh, that's tempting. You clone build using CMake. I do have Glad and GLW. LCGE. Do I need to... There seems to be a documentation. Which certainly is convenient. Maggie, can I be able to be on stream sometime? Depends, silliest. Now the most cursed hoodie. I'm working on front for that note. What can you share? What kind of hoodie? Because if not, then you're just leaving us hanging. You know. I am curious. Okay. Let's try this because why not? Let's try it. Let's try it. CMake, how and what now? Exactly? I don't use CMake much. I just compile it myself. B build. You just, you know, there we go. Build dots. Error. Project file does not exist. Okay. That's why I don't use CMake. That is precisely why I normally don't use CMake. No, don't try me. I think love nods. A couple of nods more sleeves. It's sad, but those who know do know. I know. I don't know. I don't want to know. Send not here in the Harry Ball theorem sometimes. Lemon! Damn it, Lemon! Alright, well, I do not like... You do not have permission. Windows, you suck. I can't do sudo, and this is awful. There we go. Fixed. I don't have the patience required to deal with CMake, because I really don't like CMake. Single file C graphical engine. Let's see. Let's see. Haha. I'll just find C graphical engine. C++, no. Am I really supposed to do it in OpenGL? I mean, I can. I suppose that is the true C way. I can, but I really shouldn't. Your next video should be 2-hour VOD of you playing Balatro, no editing, no music, no voice, no nothing. Genius! That's a great idea. I know for a fact that it would take me only a couple of hours to set up OpenGL from scratch. And if I do it, then we wouldn't have to deal with graphical engines. We could just do our thing, do whatever we want. Okay. 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 Okay, let's try it. I won't find a light enough of a C engine for this to be good for me. Cocksucker machine to Quantic, and then I use my commutative ring. Lemon! We could do what we want, no up is involved whatsoever. I am certain this will go well for me, and I will not regret my decision in the slightest. Because why would I ever regret my decision in the slightest? That would not make any sense. Here's what we're going to do. First of all, we're gonna do main C and main H, and then we're going to do build.ps1, because I use PowerShell for building, GCC, shut up, code, there we go, GCC, main.c, output, build, main exe. Lovely, beautiful, fantastic. Then right here we're gonna do int main, and then just as simple as it could be, return 0, because that's all I want to know for now. Now if we do it could be a build, and if we build, then we build main, then okay, everything works so far. Everything works so far, certainly. Now, to complicate it a bit more, was there ever any indication that mathematicians were serious people? No. No. But I still, it's good to reaffirm my beliefs, you know? Also, you've joined a bit late, Leo. We're over the mathematics bit. We already ADHD moved on to other stuff. Alright. Now what we'll need is this. There we go. Then build, and we need to include inside the build all the things that will be useful. So those will be like so. Now can it build? It can. Lovely, it worked. Okay, good. So far, we're on track. No errors. Great. I was on time, I will still not be over it. Okay, so far, everything works. Yes, we have absolutely nothing yet, but at least it works, so that's something. Bye everyone. Bye Silius, bye. Is the math in the room with us? Am I using GLFW or GLAD? I'm using both. And CGLM, because of course. Right. Yes. Setting up GLAD. Okay, so we also have GLAD included. I'll be brutally honest, there's just a bunch of websites for learning this sort of stuff, so convenient. Okay, now let's try making a window. How bad could it possibly be? Alright, no errors at least, so that's something. Fingers crossed, I'm certain... Oh yeah, right, we don't care about C++. Fingers crossed, I'm certain it will all be fine. Okay! Yeah, it was something. Alright. Okay. Good. It turned on, which is what we want to happen. And then GL viewport. Okay. I know how to make a window with wood and glass. That's the proper way to make a window, Theo. Everyone else who makes a window is just lying to themselves. Okay, well, frame buffer size callback. We don't really care for it in this. Alright, and then the while loop to repeat. Fingers crossed, please build. It did build. It died. Let me guess. Wow, yeah, I guessed correctly. And you cannot resize the... Oh! Oh yeah, right, you can resize, but you can't resize the thing. That makes sense. And we can make a comically small window. There we go. That is our window right here. Convenience. I mean, programming language it runs in 4 dimensions. How can a programming language run in 4 dimensions? I don't understand. Programming languages don't have dimensions usually. Okay, so let's set up everything next to a programmer. For the memory mapping? What would 4D memory mapping look like? Hasn't anyone seen the show Burn 10? Of course. Of course. Yeah, give me a second, everyone. I'll be right back. I need to have a think about what I'm doing in my life. Making a freaking engine from... Okay, I'm back. I have thought about it and some more conclusions. My version that has code editing on the fly. I hate it. How did you make a 4-dimensional programming language? Most programming languages are 1 dimension. What do you mean? Olive Drinker, I am so confused by what you mean. What do you mean a 4-dimensional? Like parallelized? Do you mean like it runs in parallel? But even then, that's not really a matter of dimension. Even then, like what do you mean by most programming languages are 1 dimension? What do you mean by that? Is it just me, or do all names that Ben gives his aliens sound like slurs? No way. 1D memory mapping? What do you mean 1D memory mapping? Well, just because it's described by a single... You can describe the memory by multiple numbers if you want to complicate your life. Most programming languages run line by line. I mean, in a way, that's unavoidable. Because, well, okay, there is a couple of things wrong there. First of all, they don't really, in a way they run line by line, but not really. And the oversimplified view is that yes, then they run line by line because the CPU executes it line by line. The bit more complicated view is that that's not really how it works. Another thing, man runs character by character in planes and in cubes. I am so confused. Drinker. Because you can't really change the fact that it's getting executed line by line. That's more of a hardware thing. You would need to design a new CPU to change that. I don't understand what you mean by multiple dimensional programming language. Directed into other... Your stack is a 1D array. Well, I mean, yeah, if you want to, though, you can change it into a 4D cube or a 4D hypercube if you want to complicate your life. You could do it where, I don't know, after every single... where basically, after every single amount, you just switch to the next line in the next dimension. And then you just change the indices. So instead of a single index for each memory address, you have four indices for absolutely no reason. Yeah, Olive Drinker, I don't know. I honestly don't know what you've done. I still struggle to understand how a programming language can be single dimensional. But I need to do this. Let's just set up all the defaults before we move on to
Not that bad. Goodbye.
Alright, bye. Okay, so this kind of negative or positive. It's not really it's not really mind bending. I just don't understand how you could have a single dimensional program. A 2D stack will inherently provide parallel computation. Would you consider shared memory to be a two-dimensional stack then, Mark? What's more, would you consider shared memory with layers to be three-dimensional? How many dimensional would you consider this? What the fuck does dimension even mean in this context? That's my point, Lemon. My point is that dimension in this context is meaningless because there are no dimensions there. Like, that's kind of like calling... Oh, what would be a good example? Give me a second. I need to think of something. Calling a program or memory one-dimensional is kind of like calling... I don't have a good example, I'll be honest. How can I say this to the memory mapping? Yeah, but the problem is that you would consider it, but it's not really two-dimensional memory mapping. I guess you could make the case that each address has, depending, you know, how many... But then once again, as I mentioned, you can do a space-filling curve and change your 1D memory into a two-dimensional memory. Like, you can have any n-dimensional memory if you complicate it enough, but there is no actual technical reason to do it, because it's a bit of pointless. Python is 26,737 dimensional language. Pretty wrong. Well, yeah, that's exactly my point. Like, if you're being this fluid with the definition, then any language would be any dimensional. If you have 32 memory, is it 32 dimensional? Python is 1D. Not really. It's not dimensional. Olive Drinker, what do you mean? What do you mean? It can't change. What direction? I'm sorry, I am going mad. What direction? I mean, is that their program can time travel? I am so confused. Oh, I got an analogy. Like, you know how when you have a rotor, right? Electric motor, it can rotate one way or the other. Like, that's kind of like calling that motor one-dimensional and saying that you invented a four-dimensional motor. Like, not really. You can't really have that. I have 2D code and can move in horizontally vectory. Olive Drinker, horizontally and vertically is meaningless. There is no horizontal movement or vertical movement. I think your code is not supposed to move by itself. That is true. You don't. Okay, so all right. Let's go on a bit of a maths. All right, a bit of a maths. What does it mean for something to be n-dimensional? Okay. Let's say you have a field f, all right, which represents some kind of numbers, right? You have your field, delicious, lovely field, some kind of numbers, doesn't matter. Now, for something to be n-dimensional would mean that what you basically have is you have some kind of n amount of numbers. Let's skip over boring maths. We're here to do computer science, all right? We're here to do stuff that doesn't work. If it did work, then you wouldn't be doing it. Okay, so you have your first number. And let's do f just as an element of the field. You have the first number, second number, third number, ... n times until you reach f n minus 1. Okay? That's n-dimensional. Now, memory, you could make an argument that it's one-dimensional, because for any address in memory, right, if you have a pointer a, for example, you could make the argument that it's one-dimensional because you describe it with a single number. You only describe it with f0. However, there is no point in thinking of it as one-dimensional. That's because if you store an image, for example, then you store it line by line, which means in that case, even though you can still think of it as one-dimensional, you still can describe it with two numbers, with f0, f1, horizontal, vertical, which wouldn't really make memory two-dimensional. The image is dimensional. Yeah, exactly. But the point is that the memory isn't really any dimensional. We store it linearly. That is true. Like we have it indexed with a single number. That is true. But that's just to make the memory different. Memory literally like a string of bytes. Yes, it is a string of bytes. Exactly. Now, in that case, I think you could even... I'm pretty certain you could even prove that it's not any dimensional, considering how it doesn't really work like a field. But that's the story for now. That's irrelevant. Okay, we're not going down line of reasoning. We're not here to do maths. So memory isn't really any dimensional, simply because in memory, all that we care about is that each byte is indexed differently. We don't care about how it's indexed. To make native mapping 2D. Mark, I am literally right now explaining that 2D mapping doesn't make any sense. Think of each code piece as a color. My code is like a picture, but 4D. But what do you mean think of each code piece as a color? That line doesn't make sense, Olive Drinker. Because the thing is, you cannot describe your code with numbers. You can't. Okay, I mean, okay, you can describe the code, the letters, that's true, but you cannot describe the program with numbers. So what you're basically arguing is that normal programming languages are one-dimensional because they only have one number describing them. The problem is they don't. They don't really. Picture as a vector field where each component is the corresponding RGB value. Yeah, that's, well, I mean, kind of. Lemon, I wouldn't recommend thinking of it as a vector field because the thing is, you can technically try to go with that line of reasoning, but you need to remember that in computer science, everything is discrete. Unless you're talking about hypothetical computations. But everything is discrete normally. You have a finite amount of bytes, finite amount of bits, finite amount of memory, finite amount of everything. And so it's just easier to think of it as an array of stuff. So as a TLDR, memory isn't one-dimensional. Normal programming language is 1D because normal processor is 1D. Mark, you can't say that the processor is 1D without defining what you mean by that. Because saying that the processor is 1D is meaningless. What do you mean by a processor is one-dimensional? Well, no, it's a three-dimensional object. Yeah, it executes everything step by step, but that doesn't really make the logic one-dimensional. Like, okay, if you're saying that a normal processor is one-dimensional, what are those? You need the F to N for it to be n-dimensional. Unconsidered GPU 2D. Well, you can consider GPU 2D, but that doesn't really make it 2D. That just means that you think of GPU as, like, it's a cool way to think about GPU, but it's not really accurate. Like, you can consider it to be two-dimensional, but it's not really. It doesn't have a dimension. Because how would it? Mom is free. No, I'm just gone. I've just been so flabbergasted with that concept. Like, what does a four-dimensional code mean? That really is like someone creating a four-dimensional motor. Like, what do you mean a four-dimensional motor? You don't really describe it with dimensions. Right? But motor isn't good enough because motor isn't discrete. We would need something that's discrete that would try to describe multiple dimensions. Okay, and no, that's not good enough because it's not discrete. I don't have a good enough analogy for this. I have a bunch of okay ones, but nothing too great. No, I've just been so confused with that. Okay, doesn't matter. Build, cool. It builds, it runs, that's all we need to know. GL viewport isn't working. Now the question is why isn't working? Where is it? GF. Location. I'm ahead of the bed. Alright, Toby, bye. Good night. Let me check my own code to see. To see how I've done it. I normally use GL draw elements, that's convenient. What a fool I will be for doing it this way. Let me guess, it's going to be in init, right? At least that would make sense if it was an init. Let's see. Init, GFW init. All of those inits are already over there. GL viewport is right here and it works just fine apparently. I see. So it works just fine. Context current. What's the difference between the two? Am I initializing anything beforehand in my old code? Doesn't really seem like it. Create window. As creating window. Init it and int init. Init it and int init indeed. Nothing really here either. Why is it crashing? It doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Dependency. Yeah, but I included all the dependencies from my old code, which works. Which just makes me suspicious. The build seems fine. This doesn't seem fine. Could it be because it's initializing GL viewport without... I think I know how to explain now. Please go ahead. please do go ahead. I am... You know 4D arrays? Yes. I have made an entire video about dimensions. I have made 3 separate videos just about dimensions. Trust me, I know dimensions. My code is stored like that. No, it cannot be stored like that, Olive. Physically, unless you created a new kind of computer, it physically cannot be stored like that. That is just simply impossible. Learn and grows now, forget my next one. Okay, Olive Drinker, allow me to give you a quick explainer of how the memory works, alright? Now, memory, I'm going to skip over the advanced stuff because it's irrelevant. And we're just gonna stick to the simple bits. When you have memory in computers, it's stored in bytes like this. Each rectangle here represents a byte, alright? Number between 0 and 255. And it just keeps going to the left, keeps going to the right. Now, each of these has its own value on the inside, like let's do it in a different color. 16, 31, 106, 0, 0, 0, 36. There we go. Each of them has a different number on the inside, and also each of them has an index. So these numbers are usually really large because, you know, computers have gigabytes of RAM. I'm talking about RAM here, I should specify. But for now, let's just do 0, 1. Well, I guess they wouldn't be going left with 0. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now, the reason why we index them this way is simple. It's convenient. It's just straight up convenient to use the memory this way. Each of these bytes needs a separate address. The reason why it needs a separate address is because our programs need to be able to access anything from the memory. So, for example, if we're making a video game, if we store the player's health right here, then we need the confidence that whenever we reach for the byte number 13, we will get that value that we saved there. And whenever we edit it, it's gonna stay there. You would get into malloc, but that's a story for a different time. Now, that is the way it's made by default, right? That's how all programming languages work. You can, by yourself, do it differently if you want. You can take all of these indices and you can change the software implementation in a way so that instead of having one index, all of these would instead have a 2. So imagine it like a rectangle with length 12 on one side and length n on the other, which means it would go like this. 11, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. In this case, every single one of those bytes would have its own unique index again, which is good, that's what we want. All we care about practically is uniqueness. And you would have 2 numbers describing each and every single one of them. Or in other words, you, in a sense, would achieve a 2-dimensional memory. The problem, however, is that there is no practical difference between the two. Except this one would be less convenient. So, storing doesn't really change the dimension. No matter how you store things, hardware-wise, they are always stored the same way. That's why in this case, you can, if you want, change your program up so that it reads memory this way. However, it won't really make the memory 2-dimensional because the dimensions don't exist there. When you have 2 bytes, like right here, for example, this one and this one, then it's tempting to say that these 2 bytes are 3 bytes apart, right? It's tempting to say that. However, from a software perspective, they aren't really 3 bytes apart, because most of the time these will be completely disconnected. Which means that if you're doing low-level programming, yes, you can sometimes use the fact that they are close together in order to do some funky stuff. Call back to earlier on when I mentioned my favorite fix I've ever done in C. You could do those things. However, from a software perspective, these two numbers refer to completely different things most of the time, and as such, they aren't really sitting on a one-dimensional line. You can imagine them as a completely disconnected boxes if you want, if that makes it more convenient. Just completely disconnected boxes floating in space, each of them having a unique number on the inside and on the outside, and it would be just as fine. So in that way, these cannot be two-dimensional, because what would that mean? Now let's move on to the CPU. When you have a CPU, the way it works, skipping over the advanced boring bits, is you are correct. You have the operation going in, and you have the result going out. And then that happens once, and then it repeats, and then it repeats, and then it just keeps going and going. And that's how CPUs function. Yeah, they do execute one thing at a time. However, once again, this doesn't really make them one-dimensional. Because then what would them being two-dimensional mean? So for example, even though CPUs execute one thing at a time, they have multiple cores. And these cores do execute multiple things. So CPUs actually can't execute multiple things at the same time. Kind of like a GPU light, like a graphics card light. Does that make them, I don't know, if they have 8 cores, for example, does that make them 8-dimensional? Well, I would argue not really, because dimension doesn't really make sense there, right? There's no dimension. Let's clarify, I don't need help with my Stokes problem because I'm actively seeking help, but it's not Stokes, that's the problem. I noticed. If I can help in any way, I'll be glad to help, Lemon. And so the point is that no matter what you do, Olive Drinker, your program will always execute one by one. This is not a bug, this is a feature. The reason why is if our central processing unit worked like a GPU, which means if we could actually execute multiple things at different times, then this leads to a whole bunch of problems. So for example, you have a single byte and you have one program going in and program allocating this byte for itself. You have another program going in, also allocating this byte for itself. And then all of a sudden, which program owns this byte? No idea. No clue, they both allocated at the same time. Now, right here, there would be an interesting question to ask, like, for example, hey, make it, if CPUs have multiple cores, then how does that work? Which, the answer is just the reason why CPUs are so expensive. It takes a shit ton of engineering to actually make this entire system work and make it safe. But the point is, just because CPUs execute things one by one doesn't make them one-dimensional. Once again, if you want to think of CPUs in multiple dimensions, for example, then imagine it like on a plane and imagine it like a line that's just bouncing around. This line would be an accurate representation of how a CPU works, so you execute things one by one, right? You always keep going. However, this line exists in 2 dimensions. So once again, depending on how you think about it, you can think of it in any dimensions, which is a pretty good sign that it isn't actually one-dimensional, it isn't two-dimensional, it isn't dimensional at all. The whole point of dimensions, the reason why we use dimensions, is the way they are important in mathematics, is that my program runs one at a time, like a train can switch tracks. That actually happens a lot. That is a pretty standard way to... That's why even in assembly you have goto, which... That's basically how it works, if you want to switch tracks in a way. Do we have goto? I think it was goto. I haven't done anything assembly in a while. I'm sorry, GCC. When you look up for assembly, I think it was goto. I haven't coded an assembly in years. Maybe jump. It might have also been jump. That's a possibility. So my previous message explaining if it was talking different. And if kind of shows. Causes me to have special interest in hyperposition and different geometry is one. I've noticed, Lemon. Trying a CPU walking apart in the cube and how brown emotions come from. Oh yeah, it was jump. There's an easy way to check. Easy for me. Where's Alexa? There we go. One of the oldest ones. So for example, how long is this? Yeah, it's jump. Where's go to? I don't know where I got the go to from then. ADX that by so a lot bit more code. ADX. ADX is a register. So basically, inside the CPU, you have these boxes which can hold values. And ADX is one of them. If I'm not mistaken, you basically divide them. It's been a really long time since I did assembly, so I really don't remember much. But basically you have these boxes which are 64, but then you can divide them in two, which makes them both 32. Divide them again to make them 16. And ADX, if I'm not mistaken, is the box D, the entire one. Then you have AD. Actually, let me check. Names of registers in assembly. Linux 64. X64 cheat sheet. There we go. AX. Wait, is that another register? ADX, that sounds like a register. There's RDX. Or was it X86, 64? That still rocks. The naming conventions for these are phenomenal though, I always love them. Until I had to divide a number and I couldn't pick the right register because they all had the custom made operations, because it's hardware coding. Most annoying kind. Make it, would you rather give a slug or a snail the power of a god? A snail, obviously. What an obvious question. You know what? I think that might be it for today. 2.5 hours. I have achieved absolutely nothing, which is a pretty good sign. I should probably go off and be productive. So I'm gonna go for now. It was fun, however. Tomorrow, I will try to set it up more properly so that tomorrow we will be able to code something actually, instead of just talking about coding. And for now, I suppose, sorry for stalling you. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. I get distracted anyway. Listen, if it wasn't this, I would just probably get distracted with mathematics or quantum mechanics. It always happens. And for now, I suppose that'll be it. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.